So as you can see, the carving's coming along really well. We're left with the leaves to finish off. They're already quite well finished in the sense that they're all in position and moving well. The surfaces need a bit of refining, but particularly the ends. And what we want to do is give those a little bit of interest by sweeping them, turning them a little bit, but also setting in the background, which is this section in between the leaves. I'm not undercutting at all, I'm just leaving nice sharp edges. So I'm going to drop the carving back, spin it round if I have to, and start working on these leaves, pushing the shapes, getting these shapes lovely and flowing. These little eyes here are quite tricky. What we have to do is work this out and down into as deeper hole as we can get using bent gouges. And then try and get the edge of one leaf and the edge of the other coming into a little V in between. So we don't have to go right down to the background, but we do want to create shadow. So the background here is just cleaned up down to that line, straight across. So it's flat across and into the carving. And then when we've got these edges how we want them, try to use the full depth. We can set them in vertically. Coming to a nice tight junction just here, nice clean tidy junction. Now I might need a V-tool to help get some of that out. So as we're carving, what we want to do is get the surface cleaned up as we go along. So try and make these finishing cuts so we don't have to go back and do anything to the carving. Now we could make something like that a little stronger. So this line here that is created by the shadow, that pushes forward and does that sort of flowing effect of the leaf rather than a centre vein. So I haven't actually carved like a centre vein with a V-tool at all. I've definitely just created centre veins with shadows. I've got to say this side of the wood is a lot harder than the other side. So keeping things still soft, so just making sure that's not too hard a line. Then along the edge here I might lift that up a little bit. So the surface twists like this. And it's just a matter of trying to add a bit of interest to each leaf, and don't worry about being too exact from side to side. At the end of the day, they're leaves, and as long as they look roughly symmetrical, that'll do. Now at some point, let's take a bit more off there, I think. At some point you might want to separate some of these leaves. In other words, create a sort of secondary leaf here, just because this is just a big area. These are big areas. So something simple like this. Cut that in like so. So that this is heading back up the leaf here, and then you can take a little bit off this. So we create a different silhouette. Lower that a little bit. I think you can see I don't really have a plan, so which is just working these leaves, making them a little bit more interesting. Everything pushing towards the flow of the whole leaf, the whole carving. This edge is effectively a background, so we do need it to go straight through and straight across. Fit right into there. Sometimes you may have to come round here like this. But if you can, let's see if we can get the wood out with a skew chisel. And leave these junctions square, and they don't have to be undercut. Here's the centre vein coming up the turnover and round the back. And what I've done to make it more interesting is I've split a leaf off on this side. And what I did was, let me show you on the other side, run a V-tool round like so, so as if it's coming over into this corner, not straight back. So coming round, and right down to the bottom there. Then I rounded some of this over here. So this is like a little relief carving in its own right, separating this leaf from here. And then the profile, the outline of the leaf, I set in like so. So I took some off this here, and then that rounds over into there. Like so. And then give a little bit of a shape to the outside part, like so. And this forms a sort of central vein in terms of the shadow. You can take off both sides if you like. A bit like that. So I've finished the leaves, and I've also finished the background here into the leaves. I've got a nice tidy junction all the way around. So that all that's left now is to put the eyes in, which is a very exciting part of the carving, a few little accents, and then the finish proper, and we'll do that in the next lesson.